Hello friends, welcome back once again to Sibanjit's live video classes. I'm Titishri back with another new topic from the English video classes. So today's topic of discussion will be essay writing and letter writing. So before moving on to the main discussion of our topic, I'd like to request you all to please do like our videos and subscribe our channel. There is also a discussion box to help you out. If you have any queries, comments or discussion, please do jot it down there and our team is always ready to help you out in the best way possible. Essay writing and letter writing. So what is basically an essay writing? An essay writing is you'll be given a certain topic and whatever description you can give on that particular topic you have to write, and that is known as an essay writing. But keep in mind, the essay should be within a limited number of words. As you know, a long essay is not useful. Okay, the minimum number of words will be mentioned to you all, and within that particular word limit you have to describe a given topic, and yeah, a limited time will also be given. And next is letter writing. So what is letter writing? It is a form of letter which you write to your friends, your parents, or some official cases. So we will discuss in detail about essay writing and letter writing now. So let's start with an essay writing. So at first let us try to understand what are the basics of essay writing. Analyze the task. So whenever you are given a particular topic, don't just start writing as soon as you see a topic. First, read the topic, try to understand, try to analyze what you are asked to do. Okay? Next is making a self-assessment on the topic. So after you have analyzed the topic, tried to understand what the question is being asked to you all, make a self-assessment on the topic. Means what are the things that you can write? What are the things that you know? Recollect them all in your mind and make a self-assessment. Next is planning and research work along with note making. Now after you have recollected all the things in your mind that these are the particular things I'm gonna discuss about, next you plan it. Okay? Just make a plan of it, do some research and make notes on it. Okay? It will be easier for you while you write an essay. Then plan your time and set goals, which is very, very important. If you don't plan your time and set your goals, your time limit will go out and you will not finish your writing, right? So within the particular, or you can say the given time limit frame, you have to make your assessment in that particular manner only. So these are the basic steps of essay writing. So you please keep in mind, then only you start to write an essay. Then we come to parts of an essay. Now after you have recollected all the points, made a self-assessment, made short notes, some research work, you must know how you have to arrange an essay. You just cannot randomly write here and there each and every point and make a long essay, okay, which will be wrong. After your self-assessment, your main thing is divide your essay. Make parts of the essay. So what are the basic parts of an essay? The basic parts of an essay here are introduction, your main body, and a conclusion. So what does the introduction do? It will give you a general idea on the topic, and you have to identify, recollect, try to understand the topic and write a little on that topic in this introduction part. Then you have to go to the main body. Discuss the main topic, write in paragraphs. Paragraphs must not be too long. These are the points which you have to keep in mind while you write the main body of an essay. Next we come to conclusion, which is the final part. So summarize your essay connection with the topic, concluding statements should be provided. These are the basic points in this conclusion part, which you have to keep in mind, and if you follow this pattern, you will have a perfect essay at the end of your examination. Now, after knowing what are your basic parts of an essay, you must know how to proceed in each step, right? So here we come, the basic steps. First is, take some time to analyze and frame sentences about the topic. Okay? It is very, very important. You get the topic, you think for some time, analyze on the topic, frame sentences, collect information in your mind, and then you make an assessment about the topic. Step 2 is, go through the introduction part. After your assessment, okay, mind assessment step is completed, go to the introduction part. Now in this introduction part, you must not take much time, okay, just take about 5 to 6 minutes to complete this part, and the first line should always welcome your topic. Don't just write anything anyhow in the first line of your essay. The first line should always welcome your topic. Okay? Next, analyze the evolution of the topic till today. Now, what are the things that has happened till today? What are the changes, the merits, the demerits? All these points you have to collect, and then you have to prepare that topic. Then try to limit the introduction to 10% to 15% of the entire content. Remember, the introduction part should not be too long. Okay, it can be of 1 or 2 paragraphs. So the main points that you have to keep in mind is it should be short. Just try to limit your introduction part to 10 to 15% of the entire content. The next step here is move to the main body part of the essay. So after you have successfully completed your introduction part, the next step is your main body part. So what you have to do here, take about 15 minutes to complete this part, okay? Give a little more time in this part because this forms your entire essay. The points noted during the time taken in the first step will form the body. So whatever mind assessment you have done on the topic, this will form the main body of your essay. Okay? Divide each point into paragraphs. Now, every new point you just cannot write randomly or anyhow. Okay? You pick a point, write something about that point, make a paragraph. Okay? Merge it as a paragraph. Move to a next new point, write the lines about it, merge it into a paragraph, and make it another paragraph. So the body should contain most of your content expressing the topic in short paragraphs. Here, each new paragraph must have a new topic line, and it should also have a link between the neighboring paragraphs. Remember, it must not be too long. So if you don't have a link between the paragraphs, it will have no sense at all. So when you are about to start a new paragraph, just keep in mind that you have a link with the previous paragraph. Okay? The next is, start with a brief introduction, description, and then conclude the point. So this is what the format of your paragraph should be. Introduce a new point, give some description, and finally conclude it. But short paragraph, okay? So repeat this process for every new point. So whenever you have a new point, just follow this pattern. So with this, you will be completing your main body part of your essay in a very beautiful and correct manner. The next step is step number 4, and which will tell you about the conclusion part. Now in this part, it is the summarizing part of your essay. Okay, so here you should spend at least about 5 minutes, not much time. So next is summarize the points explained in the body. So whatever things that you have written in the main body part now, just make a summary of it and then write it in the conclusion part. Next, is there any solution for the questions? Discuss that. So while you have written the essay, definitely there must be some problems or demerits regarding the topic. Okay, ask certain questions which will be demanding the solution for these problems. So those points, if you find any solution, just write them in short in the conclusion part. And finally, conclude the essay by providing an advice. Okay, just like the moral of a story, just provide an advice in the concluding part. So this is the summarizing part. You should keep in mind, do not make it too long. Okay, here the final arguments, purpose and evaluation to the topic must be there. If you have any future wide implications, mention them also in this conclusion part. So after we have known about the basic parts, you must know how to write it. Okay, the writing styles is very important. First is use a straightforward language. Now it is always advisable that you be precise and concise to the point. Long and overcomplicated sentences will cause confusion and you should always avoid them. Okay, using impersonal language. Now as essay writing is an academic writing, so you should always write it in the third person. Okay, avoid using emotionally loaded words also, like the research was not very good. No, such words are not used. Instead use words like research was very unproductive. Okay, so this is a very important point. The next is be precise. Academic writing must be very precise and clear in understanding. Terms which lack precise meaning should be avoided. Clear? Please do keep in mind these particular points. Next is abbreviations, acronyms should be taken care of. So for the first time when you use a word, write the words in its full form. Okay, do not use an abbreviation or acronym at the very beginning. Write it in the full form. So these are the various steps which you have to keep in mind while you write an essay. Okay, these are the basic writing styles in a proper essay, or you can say in a very academic, it's a very academic way of writing an essay. Now let's start with the letter writing. So what is the letter writing? We will discuss about this now in detail. So before we start what a letter writing is, first we must know what does a letter writing consist of. An appropriate greeting. Now whenever you are about to start a letter, at first you must greet the person to whom you are writing the letter. Correct? So you must always start with an appropriate greeting. Next is an introduction clearly stating the reason what one is writing. Okay, so in the introduction part, or you can say just the subject part, you must introduce your point in short why you are writing the letter. Okay, so next is the main body. So after you have introduced your subject properly, go to the main body and describe each and every point in details why you are writing the letter. Okay, and whenever you introduce a new point, keep in mind start with a new paragraph. Next is the final paragraph in which we sum up the topic or express our wish for something to be done. So the final paragraph will be your ending paragraph where you will summarize all the things of your main body and write it in the letter. And finally, an appropriate ending. So as you have started the letter with an appropriate greeting, in the same manner you have to give an appropriate ending to the letter also. These are the various parts which a letter writing consists of. Next we come to basics of letter writing. In this basics of letter writing, first we'll be discussing what are the types of letters. So we have two types of letters. They are the informal letter and the formal letter. So informal letter is a letter which is generally written to our friends, relatives, siblings or parents. Okay? And formal letters are the letters which we write to government department officials, bank departments, news editor, school or college principal. Clear? Next we come to the parts of a letter. After you have found out what are the types of letters, formal and informal, next you must know what are the basic parts of a letter. They are the address, your body and conclusion. So three basic parts of a letter, that is your address, body and conclusion. So now let's discuss the address part. What you have to do in this address part or what you have to write here. So in the address part, you will have the to and from address. Now what is this to and from address? From address is the address of the sender. Okay, the one who sends the letter gives his or her name and address, and that will become the from address. Okay, so mention your name and address, the one who is writing the letter. Then comes the to address. Now in this to address, specify the name and address of the person or the organization to whom the letter is sent. Now in this part, the letter is being written to whom? That particular person's name and address must be specified. Okay? So here is just an example of a to address and from address. Now to address here is to the editor, The Hindu, Maharashtra 88. So this letter is being written to the editor of The Hindu, Maharashtra 88. So this is the to address. Now this from address is from a person who is writing the letter. It is from some KM Prasad, PM, PL Enclave, flat number 299, 8th block, Maharashtra 55. So this is the to address, is the one. To address is the address to whom we are writing the letter. From address is the address and the name of the person who is writing the letter. Clear? Next we come to the body of the letter. So after you have written the addresses, what comes in the body? So it should contain the main part of the letter. As we know, the body is the main part where you have to give the full description of your letter. But before you start writing the main body, an important point is that introduce the subject. What is the subject? Subject of the letter describes the purpose of writing. The main topic or why you are writing the letter, just describe in short in the subject. After the subject, the main content should contain the detailing of the purpose of writing. Means after you have introduced your subject, just write the details. Okay, expand your subject in the main body of the letter. Then comes the conclusion. It should contain the closing remarks. So after you have written the subject and the main body, finally conclude your letter by a closing remark. Okay? So words that are generally used to end a letter are, in informal letter we use the words like yours lovingly, yours affectionately. Okay? And in formal letter we use words like yours sincerely, yours faithfully. Okay, so these are the words that you have to keep in mind while writing an informal letter or a formal letter while you write your conclusion part. And finally, you have to write the name of the sender after you have written the conclusion part. So after you have written these words, write the name of the sender. So after knowing the format of how to write a letter, we will come to the differences. Okay, what is the basic differences between a formal letter and an informal letter? So it is divided into two columns, which you can clearly see. Now in the formal letter, greeting, how do we greet a person? It can be like dear Mrs. Lee or dear sir. But in an informal letter, the greeting should be like dear Alex, dear dad. Okay? In a formal letter, frequent use of passive. But in an informal letter, it is not necessary. Next, in the formal letter, keep in mind, always use formal languages. In an informal letter, informal language styles can also be used. In a formal letter, no abbreviated forms must be used. Whereas in an informal letter, abbreviated forms you can use, but it is advisable that you do not use them. Okay? Formal letters ending should always be like yours sincerely, yours faithfully. Okay? Whereas in an informal, you can end it like yours, then write your name, love, your name, best wishes, your name, regards, etc. In a formal letter, they have two addresses, your and the recipient's. Okay, very important point. Whereas in an informal letter, we have only one address, that is only yours. Last point, in a formal letter, begin with dear sir or madam and end it with yours faithfully plus your full name. Or you can begin with dear Mr. or Mrs. XYZ plus the surname and end with yours sincerely full name. Okay, your full name should be written. Whereas in an informal letter, begin with dear plus first name, like dear Alex, dear Raju, etc. And end with love, your name, yours. You can write your name then, or you can write in best wishes plus your first name. So your first name is sufficient in an informal letter, whereas your full name should be written in your formal letter. Clear? So after going through the differences between the different kinds of letters, or you can say the two types of letters, let us look at the format for writing a formal letter. At first comes the address part, where you must have your name, okay, the writer's name, your address. Then to the sender plus the sender's address, both the addresses in a formal letter. Then next you must write the date in which you are writing the letter. Clear? Very, very important. After that, put an appropriate greeting. Write the subject of your letter. Then discuss whatever you want to write in the main body. Finally, the concluding words and your name, your full name. Remember the writer's full name. So this is the format in which you must write a formal letter. So now let's check out the format for writing an informal letter. First, here you must write your address, okay, the writer's address and the date of writing the letter. Here only single address is sufficient. Put your appropriate greeting to the person whom you are writing. Then write the main body. Okay? You can introduce your subject, but it's not that necessary. It's up to you. Discuss your main body of the letter. Finally, put the concluding words, close with a compliment, and then write your name. Or you can say the writer's name. First name is sufficient in the case of an informal letter. So this is the general format in which you must write an informal letter.
So with this, we come to the end of essay writing and letter writing. I hope it was useful to you all. So before I wind up this session, I'd like to request you all to please to like our videos and subscribe our channel. So now with this, I wind up today's session. I'll be back with another new topic for you all. Till then, take care and goodbye.